Guys, welcome back to Chat with Ade on Adebasi TV. Welcome again, your host Ade Tiladene. And of course, we are here with this handsome gentleman, Mr. Andrew Enofe.
That's
I
correct.
got it. Yay! Okay, a real estate, should I say guru? I would say so. From what I've seen, yes, he is doing very well in his sector. Very well, I have to say. So, of course, we would like to get to know you. That's why we're here. And because you're doing extraordinary, you're doing more than the rest. You're standing out and you're outstanding. And we would like our viewers to get to know you and to patronize you the more. And of course, to see you as someone that could be a mentor and just to see you and see someone that they can emulate, because we know in this generation, life right now, especially after COVID, I think a lot of us saw that you can't just stay put in a job and expect to be there for 20 years, 25 years and retire with the jobs. So we're in the space right now where things are like turning over, and not just having to work for people, but also working for yourself. And we would love to know a bit about you, a lot about you, in order to motivate our viewers, to encourage them, and to help them in places where, of course, real estate, where they will need help. And of course, we do know we're having so many migrants coming into the country and into the city of Toronto. It is hot choke, and how we can help them better settle quicker and better.
Thank you. That's a lot of question in one.
Take your time. Take your time.
First, I'll introduce myself. My name is Andre Enofe. I'm a real estate agent. Been in the industry for over 10 years now. And I'm also a business a person. We run residential real estate, sell residential real estate, and we have a couple of residential investments under our portfolio. I would say I'm one of the top leading real estate agents in Canada, one of the top within the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. And also, I also like to tell you that I'm the number one in my real estate branch office. So, real estate is what I do. This is what I love, and I have passion for real estate, and also for immigrants or the minority. This is the way you can build wealth, right? Lasting wealth. I always joke and tell my friends that what are you going to leave behind for your children when you are here, when you are no more here tomorrow? You can leave your job, but you can leave your real estate, right? We live in real estate. Every aspect of our life evolves around real estate. Is it the office we are sitting in right now? Mm-hmm. It's a real estate. Yes. You go to Tim Hortons, they need the real estate. You have to drive home.
Yes.
You need real estate, the roads, the constructions. You go to the hospital with real estate. So if I live around real estate, I live in real estate, so why won't I invest in real estate? Is it I own it or someone else own it, right? Either way, someone have to pay for it, right? So that's why we do a lot of training seminars. We help a lot of immigrants to actually succeed, right? My joy is to see people grow in wealth, pass on generational wealth to their children's children, and to those around them, right? That's why we do what we do. We love what we do, very passionate about what we do. Helping people is our core business, right? And mostly helping people, helping immigrants, people of the minority. You know, sometimes having the right information, getting the right contact, getting the right people to put in the right direction is what we need. And most time we lack this in our community, right? As a people, other communities are doing it and they are very successful at it. That's why we are here to help our community to take us to the next level of wealth and prosperity. So that's why we'll do what we do.
Ooh, yes, and we appreciate you for that. And the next question would be about you yourself. How did you find yourself in the real estate sector?
Okay, I graduated from York University, I think, in 2019. I did a BA honors in international development study. I also have a certificate from a Shuley School of Business. After my studies, I sat down and I thought about, okay, what am I going to do with my life, right? Am I going to go into the corporate world or non-profit organization? I really love non-profit organization. My wish is to help the world, alleviate poverty, fight against social injustice and whatnot. Well, I started a non-profit organization called Global Impact Development. I ran the organization for 1-2 years. I saw the organization was struggling, right? I meet people to raise money,
Yeah.
and people don't want to give money. It was not just going the way I wanted it to go, because I was very passionate. I was dedicated about it. But I sat back again and said, okay, Andrew, now you need money to help people. But first, you need help in order for you to help the people you want to help.
Yes.
So, well, I did a couple of research. I wanted something that would give me the lifestyle I want, right? I'm not that kind of guy that want to sit 9 to 5. Someone tell me, hey, it's time to go for your break. Oh, you are 2 minutes too late from your lunch and whatnot. I want to travel when I want to travel. I needed a lifestyle that money is not a problem. You understand? It's not like, oh, I make 5K every month. What would I do? It's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. If you're starting from there, it's a lot of money. But if you have the kind of vision, the kind of dream, the kind of aspiration, you know that, okay, just living an average life is not what you want, right? So I stumbled into real estate kind of, and read a couple of books about real estate, had some interest in real estate. I said, you know what? This will give me the kind of lifestyle I want. Give me the freedom, the opportunity. I work when I want to work, right? And I can travel when I want to travel, and I can travel with style. You get what I'm saying? Because the business can afford to pay for it.
Yes.
But it was challenging at the very beginning, very, very challenging. But persistence, determination, right? Having a dream bigger than you, cry a lot of the night, sleepless nights, late nights. It pays off. Yeah, that's where we're today.
Wow, you guys, I hope you've been inspired by that. It's not something that was given to you. It's something that you had to take your time, think about, and pursue. And like you said, while pursuing, it wasn't easy either. You had to persevere and had some late nights and some nights that you're by yourself, you and God. And this is where you are today. And you guys, it's possible. It is very possible. So you've been in real estate for how many years?
Over 10 years now.
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And all those 10 years in real estate, have you been in Toronto or?
Yeah, I started my real estate in Toronto, right? And but I moved from brokerage. This is my second brokerage. I started with Remax, and now I'm working with Tride at Home. Right? I think I've been with Tride at Home now for 6 years, thereabout.
Yeah. You're better with them. You're comfortable with them. You're good with them.
It's better in terms of what I need. They're providing what I need right now. So I think for me, I'm okay where I am.
That's superb. Okay, now let's give some information on how best one can get into real estate from a consumer perspective, or which language do you guys use from the
Industry standpoint?
yes, no,
Career standpoint?
not career standpoint. So if it's not career, is industry
Oh,
as like to get into it, to start investing
okay.
towards.
Yeah, there are a couple of ways you can get into real estate.
Okay.
Is it that you can get into real estate as a real estate sales agent, or you want to get into real estate as an investor, right? We have different platforms, right? Obviously, everybody cannot be a real estate agent. It's challenging, but the benefit outweighs the challenge. You get what I'm saying? If you're in real estate, you know what you're doing, and you're honest, straightforward, and you're able to deliver what you promise, right? It's very, very, very rewarding career, right? I'm not going to say the first year you might make 100,000 or 200,000. You might if you know what you're doing, right? If you're passionate about what you're doing and give it the time that it needs. right? Or you can also go into real estate through as an investor, right? You can invest in real estate without properly being a real estate agent, right? So we also offer those platforms. For example, we're having a seminar coming up next week. Is how to buy RRS, has to buy real estate with RRSP and the first-time home buyer savings plan. So these are seminars what's it called?
Right.
We provide sometimes to help people, to educate them that, okay, I had a client, for example, the client bought a house a long time ago. The balance on his property was about $200,000, right, in Toronto. So I met with the client. The client said, no, 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 no. He wants to make sure he pay off the money. He wants to make sure he pay off the property. I told the client, listen, it's of no good for you paying off the property, right? You have one property, it's worth $1 million. So why don't we refinance this property, take off like $600,000, buy two more properties. Now you have three properties, right? You don't have to pay the property off. The other properties you've acquired will pay for themselves. And if you purchase the property in a very strategic location and you put on some significant amount of down payment, those property can actually give you residual income to pay for your current property. Well, the client listened. Now, instead of the client having $1 million, the client has about 2 plus 1.5. It has about $4.5 million in net worth, right? Instead of the client paying off one property. And then he can refinance those property, buy a different property, right? And then those property can now become a residual income for you. You can stay home, collect rent, and don't do nothing. People will always rent. So getting into the industry is easy, I'll say, but if you have to have the right people, right? You have to have the right team. You have to know the people that know they can put you through the right process. Otherwise, you might get yourself a little bit
entangled. Okay, now let's bring it down. Let's speak to those who are renting and find it difficult, especially we're in Toronto where everything is so expensive. How do they go from rent owners to home buyers, like home owners? How?
Okay, living in Toronto, right? I always tell my clients, when you buy your first home, it's not your last home, right? And a couple of challenges I see with people, you have to start somewhere, right? And this might interest you. I started my real estate investing portfolio. I was living in an apartment building, but I had a townhouse, right? The tenant was paying, I think it was then $2,600 for the townhouse. I was paying $1,200 for my apartment building I was living. The tenant was paying my mortgage, right? If you can't afford your dream home or your dream location, you can start by investing in real estate, right? And stay where you currently are. Or when I bought my other house, it was a little bit far away from town, right? I wanted to buy in a very nice neighborhood. But at that present time, I know I can afford it, right? So you have to come to your own reality, right? I travel a little bit far. I stayed there for 1-2 years. I gained some equity. Now I can live anywhere I want to live, right? But if I wanted to start with my end goal first, it's going to be impossible to achieve, right? So you have to come to reality. See, I want to live in Toronto, for example, right? I've stayed in Toronto all my life and whatnot. I totally understand you. But do you have the enough down payment to buy in Toronto? If not, why don't you shift to a different city? Stay there for 1 or 2 years, build your equity, refinance the property, come back to Toronto. Now you have money. Or rent that property, sell the property, come back to Toronto. You have options, right? But people sometimes, you're looking for a 2-car garage, finished basement, a separate entrance, and you have $20,000 in down payment, right? You are not being real. You have to be realistic. You have to make some critical decision that, you know what? I can afford this now, but what can I do with what I have now? Then you do what you can do, then that will lead you to your next step, right? So that is why I tell people, you have to be real with yourself and you have to be realistic with your budget, right?
Wow. You guys, I hope you're taking notes. Don't worry, you can rewind and you're definitely going to be leaving his handles that you'll be able to communicate with him when you have more questions. And like you said, they have seminars, they have programs, whereas they educate people on how to go about this. So any questions in any ways that you need to be able to build your portfolio and just start, if not in Toronto, outside of Toronto, but start somewhere. It's better than just procrastinating and waiting for that money to pile up that never really does.
That's true. And you see, the longer you wait, if your property is 1 million this year, and I tell you get $230,000, for example.
Yes.
Now you got $230,000 next year. Now you don't need $230,000.
Yeah.
Now you need $280,000. Right? You're always behind, right?
No.
So you better just put your best foot in and start.
Just start. And
hello guys, it's your girl Betty and welcome back to another episode of the Adeba Advert Splash Show. Today we bring to you Bola Healthcare Services. Bola Healthcare Services has a wide range of specialized healthcare professionals with home care experience. They also provide assistance and company by keeping you involved and engaged by planning activities that enhances your well-being. They also help our daily living activities such as bathing, toileting, feeding, mobility, dressing, and many more. Do you want to learn more? You can contact one of our care experts on this number that is being displayed on your screen, or you can log into our website at www.bolahealthcare.com.
we would like to, because I know right now a lot of people are talking about it, because we do see a lot of other communities doing so. They come together as either family members, they come together, or siblings or friends, they come together to acquire properties. What's your take on that? Excellent.
Okay, now you just brought up, we have an initiative that we're working on currently. It's called the Golden Gate Investment. So what we do is part of the investment, we're trying to bring people together, buy a property, right? Then when you buy a property, after a year or after 2 years, you get some dividends that you can use to buy your own property, right? In terms of partnership, in family, friends, or a relative, you have to be really careful and seek good legal advice. Sometimes this thing might work and sometimes it might not work. So in order for you to be successful at it, you just have to cross all your T's and dot your I's, right? It's the best way, like people coming together, putting money together. Everybody have to have the same goal and the same vision. You get what I'm saying? I am getting into business with you. I said, let's put down $50,000 each. We put down $50,000 each. We say it's for 2 years. You cannot come back to me after 6 months that, oh, you have some family problems, you have some issues, you want to back out, we have to sell. Then people are forced to sell. You get what I'm saying? Whereby terminating the contracts, right? So we have to. But if it's a business, once you sign those documentations, even though you have some personal problem, you are bound by it. Right? But if we are friends, then sentimental issues, in the community, other communities are doing it and they are very successful at it, right? So you have to know who you're going to partner with.
Okay, guys. So seek legal advice, and of course, ask about the Golden
Gate investment.
Golden Gate investment. Ask about that, because I think that's a very great opportunity for those who don't even have families to say they want to even get into partnership with. And this is definitely an opportunity that you can get into in order to start, right? So that's great. That's a very, very great initiative. So have you guys been doing that for a while, or it's
just a new business that we're putting together, because we've look at it, and honestly, I want to be able to help in my lifetime 10,000 people to get a home, right? It's a huge target, but I know it's possible, right? So that I know that, okay, I've been able to help at least 10,000 people get a home. It's possible. Once we put our resources together, right? We put our resources together, we can buy up an apartment building Everybody have their own share in the building,
Yeah,
right?
which is great.
We can do you can be an investor in the company,
Yes.
right? You don't have to have your down payment, your closing cost. You don't have to be worried about the property tax and the rest stuff. We can help you invest those funds, right? Then from the growth of the funds, you can actually buy your own property. So we're putting that stuff together. We're looking at for the general good of the minority population and see how we can build generational wealth.
Yes, that's the key there, the generational wealth. Yes. And for those who, I know right now, I'm not too sure where our generation is, but I know the generation before us, those born in the middle 70s, early 70s, their generation, they came here thinking that, okay, we're going to work, pile the money, and take it back home, right? And now they're seeing that that's not working too well because the children they brought don't have any business back home. And or a lot of them that have invested money back home, they didn't see the result. Everything pretty much was liquidified. So now what is your take and what's your suggestion for the generations that are here now that don't really see them going back home anytime soon, if at all? What do you say to them with their savings?
I have a couple of clients, right? They're building back home, right? So I call them sometimes. I ask them two questions. I say, number one, you have kids here. They'll answer yes. So who are you bringing that property for? Who's going to inherit that property? Because your kids, they will never go back home.
At all.
They will on one condition.
To bury you?
If the lifestyle there is better, right?
Yeah.
You provide adequate road, security,
water, education.
There will.
Goes on. Elsewhere.
Or you have a big corporation that they have to go and manage.
Yes.
But you cannot tell them to go from heaven to a different path and do what? They're not going to go back home. I tell them, you see the money you're popping in this. So some of them said they want to go back home and retire. They need a place. I totally understand and I agree with you. Canada could be lonely for younger generation.
Yes.
Now you're talking about those people that are advanced in age. They want to go back. I understand. But listen, if you take that money, right, they're going to buy property back home.
Yes.
You invested in Canada, right? Say you still have just 10 years to live in Canada. In that 10 years, you can refinance that same property and build city structure you've built today. Right? Can you refinance your property back home? No. You can, but you're going to have double digits. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can refinance the property, still own the property, take out the equity from the property, and build city structure. You understand? So I tell them, even I was having a conversation with a client the other day. We were just talking, okay, what do you want them to do to you when you pass on after life and whatnot? You have properties back home. He said, no, they're going to bury him here. I said, why? He said, because if they take him back home, his kids will never come. But if he's here, they can come sometimes and put flowers and whatnot.
Boy.
So if you know your kids are not going to come back, so who are you building that property for? Yes, I understand if you are building for your family, extended family,
yes,
it's understandable. But if you are doing it as an investment for your children, you have to reconsider, right? If they will go back home, right?
Yes.
So that is what you have to put in consideration when making those kind of decisions.
You guys, I hope you're listening, because we do come across in the community a lot of people that regret not investing here when they could have, and are now crying, say they've invested back home and there's nothing to show for. So that's a very good idea, and to think about this generation. They're not going back home. They're not. How many of you have big corporations that you're leaving as legacy for your children? Very few, because a lot of people, before they even left, they've sold properties and everything they own to even come to Canada. So you have nothing there. And
sorry, if you have that corporation, you wouldn't have come here.
You wouldn't. Oh yeah. But you know what? Some people actually end up leaving just because, one, the economy is not smiling.
That's true.
It's not smiling, and you don't have that comfort, even with the funds back home.
Yeah.
There's some comfort
You have
level
to
that
pay
you
for
just
everything.
do everything.
You have to be on security.
Oh my
You have to provide your
goodness.
water. You have to provide your like.
It's crazy. So if that comfort level alone is not even enough for you to stay, even when the funds are available, that's why you see all these politicians. They all send their children abroad.
That's
Why?
true.
They have the money, but they're sending their kids abroad because of what?
They can't afford the security.
It's not guaranteed. So you should really, really think about this. Those who have not thought about it, or they are still contemplating what they want to do. This is the way forward. Invest here, and like he mentioned, you can do 2 in 1. Invest here. Years later, you can now
Refinance.
finance.
When you are really sure you're ready to go, right? You want to go
You
enjoy
still
the
want to
property.
go.
Yeah, you want to go enjoy the property. Then you can buy. But if you want to buy for your parents, extended family, that's understandable. But don't say that is an investment for your kids.
No.
Because that's not.
That's a gift.
Let's talk about it. Someone did an investment back home when dollar was 176. Right?
Yes.
Now dollars is 600 or 5 something.
Yeah.
Right? So do the conversion. Are you really you built a house?
Yeah.
Now you are thinking about, oh, let me sell that property, bring the money to Canada, right? $20,000, right? Probably you've spent $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 to build that property back home, right? Now the interest rate is crazy, right? So you bring the money, you start crying. What have I done? So, but if you're investing in Canada, you can refinance and send that money home and build. So you have to have a base where you live.
Yes.
Right? You have to have a base where you live. And if you are renting, you're just throwing your money away and paying your landlord.
Yes.
If you stay there for 10 years, when moving out, you've helped your landlord pay his mortgage for 10 years. Right? Your landlord is not going to tell you, oh, take $20,000 as equity. No. Right? So this is what landlord enjoys. Like, you don't buy us.
Yes.
You leave him out, you think it's free, but it's not free.
It's not free. What? It's very loaded, you guys, a lot. And if you have any more questions that we have not answered or we're not answering, don't forget, you can definitely reach him. Please give out your information where they can be reached.
I don't know my Facebook, Twitter. We are on Facebook.
Okay.
I think it's Andrew Enofe. On Twitter, Andrew_Enofe. Instagram, Andrew.Enofe. And
Your number.
416-833-8909. That's my personal cell phone, or you can call my office 905-226-3600, and one of our dedicated staff will be happy to help you. Or you can reach us at www.andrewenofe.com or info@andrewenofe.com, and then we can also send you if you're interested, you can join our WhatsApp group, whereby we'll send information about real estate, about upcoming seminar, about upcoming events, to keep you posted. Sometimes there are some government funds available that you can tap into, right? Joining those group, we have a broader conversation. Okay, this is what is happening now. This is how we can help. This is the situation. Then we'll be able to help you, right, with the Canadian dream, right?
Yes.
But you have to reach out to us somehow, and then we'll put you through. Each case is different, right? Individuals are different.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people don't have a down payment. You need to know what to do. Sometimes, the thoughts, like new immigrants, they have this common mistake. Oh, I don't need credit. Like Rogers, most time, or Bell, or utility bills. They call them, they don't pay, they get upset, they switch services, right? They don't understand the importance of credit reports, right? So you stop paying, you think they can't do nothing. You put your credit from 700 to 500, right? You're wondering. So we can actually help you, guide you on what to do in order for you to get to where you want to get to, right? And become a happy homeowner in Canada.
Yeah, or homes, properties.
That's right. Or investor.
Yes,
right?
an investor, which we know our Nigerian people, our African people, it's in our blood. We like to make money because we like to spend money, So definitely, let's contact Mr. Andrew Enofe, and let's try and see how we can better ourselves, not just for ourselves, but for our generations to come. Because that's something that we need to learn. Because I have to say, we need to learn. We tend to find that when someone passes away, we are doing GoFundMe, a lot of people don't have insurance, life insurance, where these are things that you leave for your children that also boosters them to a better future. So, these are things like properties that you leave behind for your children. So when you're gone, they're able to pay off your debts and be able to still live above average because you've done your part, right? So these are things that we need to really think about when we want to do things, not just think about ourselves and be selfish, but to think of the generations and the legacy that we want to leave behind. Now, you spoke on something. I would like you to elaborate a little bit more.
So forget it. You see, you want to wonder, you should understand if you pass on, why are they crying? Are they crying for your actual loss, or they are crying for the debt you put them into? You get what I'm saying? Because, see, I was discussing with a friend some times ago. He said, oh, he doesn't want to become an, what do you call it? He doesn't want, he says his uncle is very rich, but if he dies, he doesn't want him to have part of his inheritance. I said, why? He said, you don't understand. If he puts you as to have part of his inheritance, you also having part of his debt. So if they are crying, are they crying because they really miss you? I said they cry because, or are they crying intensively because of the debts you put them into? Right? Oh, now they have to discuss about funeral costs.
Yes.
They have to discuss about paying debts and whatnot. What arrangement have you put in place? Right? Yes, as you earlier said, you see a lot of GoFundMe, like you see a lot of people raising stuff for when people passed on. Why do you want to put extra burden on your family?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Why can't you avoid going to Timothy's? Take $1 per day, buy insurance, $200,000, $150, right? If you can't buy a home, you can buy insurance.
Definitely.
Right? So your family will smile. Like their tears is not double tears, right? They will know, okay, the funeral is taken care of. Not, oh, now it's done. How do we pay the student school fees? How do we pay for